welcome to the stage. Now let's talk about the airline food for a minute, of which I've eaten quite a lot of in my life.
Yep.
It's gotten better.
Well, I hope so. We're definitely trying to look at new items in the sky, like introducing umami, which is your savoury taste bud, to actually increase like flavour on board. Because when you're up at 30,000 feet, your actual taste buds decrease by half. So to increase that, we're looking at items such as your soys, your vinegars, and items like seaweed to actually bring out that flavour instead of adding salt to stop dehydration.
Well, that's wise. And before we get into, I sort of misled you there because I did want to actually talk about your fascinating career. You've had an amazing career that spanned through restaurants, 5-star hotels here in Melbourne, Michelin star locations in London. You've catered for the royal family and other celebrities. I actually personally want to know, are you planning to cater for the Prince and his lovely wife while they're here in Australia?
Yeah, definitely. It's
Nice. What will you give them to eat?
Well, it's with anyone, they just want to eat simple food, really. They just want to have something that's hearty.
But she's pregnant. She might need twisties. Would you give her twisties? I loved twisties when I was pregnant.
She can have whatever she wants.
That's the right answer. As long as she's happy, we're happy. That's exactly the right answer. Now, you're working with dnata Catering.
Yeah.
What does your role entail?
So I'm part of the development team, so my job is to develop and design authentic meals to cover all the 40 customers that we've got across Australia.
Amazing. Some people might not know this, but dnata Catering in the Melbourne Airport Business Park is actually the largest commercial catering facility in the Southern Hemisphere. That is a huge operation and a massive responsibility. For example, how many airlines dnata caters for, how many meals that they make every day, the hours of the operation, and you're the guy that's aerially above and responsible for all of that.
Yeah, looking after the menus and developing it down and making sure that we can train the chefs and make sure that what we sell to the customer goes on board. That's our soul.
That's beautiful. Tell us about some trends. Have you sort of been aware of any, like you did mention with the Unami.
Yeah.
Now, I actually think that's a really great idea because I'm always hitting the chips and then afterwards, at a woman of a certain age, can't make a fist, and we hate that after a long international flight. I would love to know that someone had thought of me when they were preparing my menu for all of those reasons.
Well, I think the main trend at the moment is to reduce the jet lag on a flight.
Right.
So with adding salt on a flight or to most meals, because that's what you generally do because it tastes quite bland, you feel more dehydrated and then you get off and then you're more jet lagged. So what we're trying to induce is the umami and increase that so you're not adding salt to your meal and you actually get that full power of the meal and you taste it and then you get off the flight and you actually don't feel so jet lagged.
Excellent.
So that's our thing.
Did I influence you to not describe the trends because I was heading towards me and everything's always about me, just so you know.
Definitely.
me. Well, first of all, look, why don't we tell the guests tonight about the menu that you've developed for them?
So what we've tried to do is we try to develop a meal or the items on the menu from the paddock to the plate. So what we've got is we've gone and sourced product from Tasmania and South Gippsland. So we've got some Cape Grim beef, which is naturally known for it's the clearest air in the world because it comes right off the South Pacific Ocean. So it's such a great product. So we're looking at getting these items from the paddock, getting into calendar cheese coming out and looking at local produce from Gippsland, also down in Tasmania and out in Geelong here, so some beautiful cheeses. And then also we've got some international stuff like some caviar, some beluga caviar, and also just a couple of items where we've reduced the salt on the meals.
Delightful. Well, fantastic. I know we're only minutes away now from throwing open the doors and letting all the ravenous hordes into the jet base. You can get your hands on all that delicious food and check out this wonderful space. Thank you so much for sharing a few minutes with me. I have to tell you, your efforts to help me on a long flight really count. I want to thank you personally. Thank you so much. As I said, thank you, Brent. Brent Italia, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you,
Here. Thank you, darling.